This video explains the procedures relating to the issuing of the Training Completion Certificate by the HKIE and the procedures required for a trainee to collect the certificate. There are 4 key stages involved. We will explain the procedures step by step. Step 1. Training completion. First and most importantly, the trainee has completed all the training requirements as scheduled on the target completion date. Currently, the training period for HKIE Scheme A is either 2 years or 3 years, depending on which discipline that the trainee is registered in, while all AM training schemes are 2 years in length. Unless the trainee has applied for exemption, extension, or suspension which will affect the training completion date, otherwise, the training completion date would be the date that is 2 or 3 years after training start date. Registered trainees may check their projected training completion date in their training record under Members Login area in the HKIE website. Step 2. Final Training Report. For all trainees who should have completed their training according to HKIE record, the HKIE will issue a Final Training Report, or FTR, to the company within 2 weeks after their completion date. The company then needs to confirm with the HKIE whether the trainee has satisfactorily completed his training as scheduled by completing and returning the FTR. Please note that the company would receive 1 FTR for each trainee after the end of the trainee's training period. FTRs are issued twice a month by email to the contact person of the company. If a trainee's training completion date lies within the first half of the month, that is, from the 1st to the 15th of the month, then his FTR will be included in the first batch that is sent out around the middle of the month. If his completion date is in the second half of the month, then the company will receive his FTR near the end of the month in the second batch. When the company receives the FTR, they should check that the information about the trainee on the FTR is accurate. That includes the name, the registered discipline, the name and address of the company, the names of the head of office and the engineering supervisor of the trainee, and the start and completion dates of the trainee in concern. The company will need to complete the FTR to notify the HKIE on whether a certificate can be issued by selecting one of the options on the report. A. Is satisfactory completion of training completion certificate to be issued. That means, the trainee has fulfilled all training requirements by the completion date stated above. If B. Extension of training is selected, the HKIE may need to follow up on whether the trainee's certificate can be issued, depending on the revised completion date. If C. is selected, then no certificate will be issued. Last but not least, the final training report must be signed and dated by the engineering supervisor and the head of office. Normally, trainees whose signed FTRs are received by the end of the month can collect their certificates in the following month. Step 3. Preparation of certificates. Before a certificate can be issued, the HKIE will check whether the trainee is still a current member of the HKIE. After all, members have the responsibility to maintain their membership status by settling the subscription fee each year with the HKIE to enjoy various institutional services, including issuing of certificates. Email reminders would be sent to those who may have outstanding membership fees, or whose membership status has lapsed. Members should ensure that their contact information in the HKIE is up to date. If the information is incorrect, then we have no way to contact you about it. At the beginning of each month, the HKIE will consolidate the list of trainees who are eligible to receive their training completion certificates in the upcoming batch, and prepare the certificates which are signed by the Executive Manager of the Training and Development Section, and the Chief Executive and Secretary of the HKIE. Step 4. Collection of certificates. Around the same time, trainees will be notified, by letter and by email, that their certificates would soon be ready for collection and that they could deliver their logbooks to the HKIE for checking. Trainees can also check whether their certificate is issued or not in the training record under Members Login area. Trainees should note that there is a late charge to be paid if the training documents are not submitted for checking within the first 2 months from the letter notification date. Delivery of documents can be made by registered mail or by courier to the HKIE. If you deliver them in person, the counter service hours on 9th floor is 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., Monday to Friday, and 9 a.m. to 12 noon on Saturday. We are closed on Sundays and public holidays. Trainees should make sure that all their training materials have been completed properly and endorsed by the engineering supervisor and training tutors. This includes completing the necessary number of monthly reports and quarterly reports for his entire training period in the training logbook, meeting the minimum CPD requirement within the training period, and fulfilling all training outcomes of his registered discipline. A checklist is available in Appendix C of T&D, Notes on Trainee Progress Assessment. The checking process takes about 2 weeks and trainees will be notified by phone on the collection of the training documents and the certificate at the HKIE. If there are missing reports, signatures, or insufficient CPD hours, the HKIE will notify the trainee by phone and they will need to rectify the problems and resubmit before the certificate can be collected. If a trainee fails to complete the collection process within 1 year from the date of issue, the certificate would be destroyed. For more information, please refer to the HKIE website. There is information on the submission requirements for the training logbooks and CPD requirements. If you have had a suspension, extension, or exemption approved, you may also refer to the relevant notes on the number of reports and CPD hours required. The following slides shows the most common questions that we have received regarding certificate collection. Please pay attention and see if they answer your queries. Question: how come my company has sent the final training report to the HKIE but I have not been notified to collect my certificate? Your company must submit the final training report confirming your satisfactory completion of training with original signatures, and your graduate membership status with the HKIE must still be active. Notification about collection of your certificate will be sent to your correspondence address in the HKIE membership record. In cases where the FTR is returned to the HKIE after 1 year from the date of the issue, special approval from the training committee is required for the trainee to receive his or her training completion certificate. Question: I need my certificate urgently for application of professional assessment. Can a special arrangement be made to speed up issuing of my certificate? Certificates are prepared in batches once a month and special requests will not be accommodated. Normally, trainees whose final training reports are received by the HKIE before the end of the month would have their certificates ready by the middle of the following month. Please allow sufficient time for handling. Question: what can I do if I cannot collect my logbooks and/or training completion certificate in person? You may authorize a representative to collect your logbooks and/or training completion certificate on your behalf. The authorized representative must present an authorization letter when collecting the documents on your behalf. A sample of the authorization letter is available to be downloaded from the HKIE website under Members. Downloads. Formal training schemes. Please visit the HKIE website for other frequently asked questions related to the collection of training completion certificate. Thank you.